gonna win.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast here. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Z-Rock here. You're tuning into the Star Ladder I-League Star Series American Region qualifying matchup here. We're just getting the event kicked off as of yesterday, this being day number 2. And now we have game 2 of Team NP versus Team DileCom. NP, of course, up 1-0 after an overall pretty decisive victory right there. So we're going to see if DileCom has fight left in them, or if NP going to take care of business, some may say. Z-Rock, though, that was quite the one-sided game overall, but do you see hope for DileCom with that said?
You know, they definitely could, especially if NP doesn't ban out Slider here with their second ban. I just think they need to kind of reevaluate the strategy a little bit. Maybe they ban out Ember Spirit just to not give EE that really early aggression hero. Most of the mids that NP like to run aren't hyper aggressive like this. There's stuff like Razor, or even Quap doesn't really come online as fast as an Ember. So maybe just get rid of some of EE's earlier picks. They did ban out the Axe, which is a bit of a change up from game 1, and banning out Underlord is the other one. So NP sticking to their guns, though. I think that starter ban pretty much puts DileCom at a deficit already.
Oh, Luna first pick. So now, are we going to see a Shadow Demon here coming out from NP, or is that going to leave it for DileCom? Should you always be scared of a Shadow Demon Luna combo, do you feel like?
I mean, yes, you should. I also think it's a fine block pick. We saw how good it could be without really having the Illusion Gaming based setup behind it, and I think it's absolutely a great pick here, even if you don't necessarily want it. It's just a good hero. So yeah, we do see the block pick come in, and E gets his hands on the Ember Spirit yet again.
There we go. That's seeming like pretty similar to the first game so far. You mentioned the Axe ban, though, so that's going to be one thing that at least will be a little bit different. But yeah, so much for them maybe not necessarily reacting to that first game as far as banning certain heroes. Obviously, they do it with the Axe, but now we're going to see what they do with the second pick here. Did they go another a different support option to go with that Luna, or perhaps another route, maybe something that can test against that Ember Spirit, knowing that they already have that now as what could very likely be their middle here. So
yeah, we saw the Earth Spirit really fell flat for them in game number 1. It really didn't get that traction it needs to in the early game. It didn't pressure any of the lanes, really. I think the Rubik did fine. That one Edict still basically won them that team fight at the top T1, and I really think it's a good enough hero that they can pick it in the first phase here, but they really need to find damage out of their next support pick. The Earth Spirit really didn't work. Maybe you could go with like a Ricky if you want to try more roaming, kind of control pressure off or 4-roll again, but
5 seconds remaining.
It just didn't work for them in game 1. There was just no attraction at all from Jericho.
By the way, DileCom, Leo Style was their puck player. He's actually not playing game 2. There's apparently he wasn't able to make game 2 here, and I think Raykill, if not mistaken, is the one stepping in for him now. So a little bit of a change up there as well for DileCom. Gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm not positive who this person is. It might actually be Kataro. I've seen him use that avatar before.
Okay.
But we will we'll see here. I may double check as the game goes on. But yeah, different mid player here. Maybe he won't go super greedy minus and semi throw the game for his team.
A little more passive route, yeah.
Yeah, am I firing enough shots at him? Because I'm still a little upset about that.
just a little. I'll say this. I mean, overall, it seemed like the game, though, got out of control in favor of NP. You know, just a lot more to it. But yeah, I mean, that was part of the sequence of events for sure. You could argue. Slark ban coming out. Okay, so we see the Invoker ban, meanwhile, from NP. Now, one more to go on either side. No Meepo options here. Meepo's kind of one of those interesting heroes with this patch. Like, some games, some series you see banned right away. Others not even touched sometimes.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you got to feel the game out, right? NP is always going to ban out Darkseer and Slardar. Very common picks for them. And so just getting rid of DileCom's comfort. The second you have an offlaner that is only comfortable on 2 or 3 heroes like DileCom seems to be, banning those 2 instantly puts him on the back foot and makes him way less effective than he would be in most games. And after that, the draft's kind of wide open. You get to ban what you don't want to play against versus what they're good with. So
5 seconds remaining.
There's a Storm Spirit ban, and now the one more for DileCom here.
Reserve time.
Figure out what they want to take out against Team NP. I mean, we think back to last game again, the Axe ban already happening, but is there another one that maybe, the Leshrac, were they overly concerned about that perhaps this time around again?
I think they could be. I think it'd be a very good pick from NP yet again. And the only difference this game is the Luna will naturally be applying a little more pressure than the Juggernaut. Once she gets her Dom, there will be T1s falling as long as they're not way behind. So I think you have to be a little more worried about it. Leshrac is a hero that plays way better when you're ahead than when you're behind. So NP may look to change it up a little bit, go a more calm, relaxed defensive strategy. I like the Centaur pick a lot. That gives them some more run at you, a good initiation. It's the alternative for the Axe, essentially. It's semi-interchangeable with the way they like to play.
Yeah, you get the, I assume the earlier Blink Dagger on him. Becomes a great initiation with the Hoof Stomp and that beefy target. You said the Stampede, too. Yeah, great for the charge at you style. And you eventually get an Axe even. That Stampede becomes that much more powerful. So,
well, and there's some cool synergy with Ember Spirit. When Centaur ults, basically it negates all slows on you and puts you at hasted movement speed. Ember's ult remnants come out at 20% faster than he moves. 20% or twice as fast. 2.5 times the speed, yeah. So those things just fly out when you're stampeded. So it makes it so EE can initiate incredibly reliably. You just pop the stampede, slam the remnants in, and you're in the fight already.
All right, well, here we go. This is the Lone Druid game, apparently, for Team NP. This is a hero that's the Sniper version 2, I think is what people are kind of referring to him as.
It does a lot more damage than Sniper, but it doesn't have Shrapnel. That's basically the difference. It is such an insane amount of damage. The two big power spikes for him are when he picks up his Dragon Lance and gets level 10, and he has this really long range, and he's very hard to go on. And then at level 15, he basically gets a Sacred Relic worth of damage with 1 talent point.
Yeah.
At that point, he is ready to go. He does so much damage. And a lot of times I've seen teams run it in an LD to try to kill him, and they die before they even get to him.
Yep. This is the latest flavor of the month, even the flavor of the week, you could say, because of what he did at the Dota Pit tournament, and even yesterday, I think he got picked up several times.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him going away anytime soon.
No, and now with those talent points, Silencer going to be the 4th pick for Team DileCom. Is that a reaction of sorts? I feel like Silencer usually is.
It's good to shut out the Ember if you're again ahead on pace. Another hero that doesn't really want to play from behind. So DileCom's really going to need their 5th pick to add some damage, add some pressure early on. And, I mean, I could see them maybe trying to go with the Leshrac. It's a little all-in-y. And then you'd run mid-silencer against the Ember, which isn't a terrible matchup by any means. But, yeah, I mean, you just gave NP some super premium picks. Some picks that are banned out a lot of games.
Yeah.
So DileCom looks like they're going to have a bit of an uphill road here. I did also double check. Raykill is not Kataro. It is apparently a Venezuelan player who
that's gonna play
has played on
Meepo.
some semi-pro teams and might play Meepo.
And that could be that curveball right there, where Team NP may be kind of just figuring, okay, they don't have a Meepo player, doing the research or whatever, but then all of a sudden the standing comes in and maybe he's a Meepo player, and maybe it's
this is one of the hardest teams I've ever seen to play Meepo into, though.
Yeah.
Like, Shadow Demon just disrupts one of the Meepos if you're ever going on him and he's trying to poof away, and then there's one Meepo left to chain, stomp, and just beat down with LD. If they're going on you, you just Savage Roar and they all run away. Like, this is looking so insanely hard for DileCom, and regardless of the 5th pick from NP here, I'm already giving them a huge edge in this game.
It's kind of funny because usually you'd want to maybe final pick a Meepo as kind of a curveball to be like, oh yeah, they have a lineup that's not like AoE heavy or whatever, so let's pick up Meepo to go. But as you're pointing out, they're almost picking it up into what's somewhat of counters here, and he's not going to snowball as you hope for. But it is Meepo, and there's a reason he's one of the highest ban rate heroes of this patch, highest win percentage, I think it's safe to say, in competitive games at least.
When he's picked up, he usually does incredibly well, especially with teams like, you've got players for it like No Tail, and Abed is probably the single best Meepo I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That guy is just insane on that hero. The one thing I'm curious about, I know I'm supposed to be the analyst to know these things, but when you global, it globals the heroes. I don't believe it globals creeps. So in theory, LD can use Savage Roar while he's globaled to make everything run away as long as he selects the bear. And
really?
if that is the case, then it is going to be really, really hard for DileCom to really get anything done.
Yeah. All right.
Leshrac picked up yet again.
Yeah, we talked about that possibly being banned out, but they do not, and they get it here. And man, look at that push again. Obviously, Lone Druid good for that, but then now you throw Leshrac on top of that with the Diabolic Edict, just like last game. So we got a lane set up. It's Lone Druid's usually in the short lane, right? So we've been seeing him lately. Okay.
Yep. Usually, there's times where if it's like a zero pressure mid matchup, you'll just be farming in middle against somebody, but it's definitely going to be Ember mid this game, I believe.
Yeah.
Although it wouldn't be
10
bad against the
seconds
Meepo. They
remaining.
may switch it up, but I would guess it'll be Ember mid.
All right, loading
I
in.
think NP might look to race and see if they can beat their Rax timing from last game with this lineup.
Kind of a self-challenge right there. It's like not even worried
Yeah.
about the opponent, just
No, we basically won the game at 18 minutes last time. Let's see if we can do it earlier.
Yeah.
But
well, Leshrac had to play in that off lane by himself while Axe jungled, but this time around, it seems like Ro's going to be more in that roaming support role, whereas Centaur will most likely end up in the off lane here, being able to take care of business.
yeah, so they will start out a little bit slower because of that. The Leshrac did get level 2 very quickly off that double stack that Axe took for him, and you don't have that luxury this time with the Centaur. Still an extremely fast jungler at like level 3 or so once he has a couple points in double edge, but not quite as fast as an Axe.
Is it Raykill on that Meepo, by the way? No, it's not actually. Raykill's going to be playing the Clockwork here. Who's
Dirty
playing?
playing Meepo.
Dirty?
Darky, I think is what they actually
Darky?
call it.
Okay.
He's gone by like 7 different
30
names.
seconds
I pick a name
Darky,
for him
yeah.
every time and just make it up.
Okay. I would have believed you. All right.
So the one thing I do like about the Centaur pick here that isn't noticed by a lot of people. So when you have an Axe or especially a Slardar, like your supports on the other team can still go roam and it's not really going to cripple your safe laner too much. He can usually do okay against them. If you ever roam when your safe laner's against the Centaur, he just dies. Like a double edge stomp double edge kills almost any carry in the game at level 3 or level 5. So it's going to pin these two supports. Like the Rubik and the Silencer are going to have a very, very hard time leaving.
Look at that rune control, too. The 3-for-1 bounty rune there in favor of NP. They just scared off, speaking of that bottom lane. I mean, the two supports and Centaur just ran down there, and Silencer and Bloon are like, nope, we're not dealing with that.
Yeah, they almost could have gotten 4. Bear can take runes himself now, like the actual Spirit Bear.
Oh,
so they could have
really?
ran the Bear in and trying to take the 4th. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Rubik, uh-oh. This is curious. Split Earth. It's going to be on top. There's that setup once again. Now he has the Shrine here. Yeah, he's going to choose to pop it. Now, I still think it's a victory, even if they don't kill him. This is a very early Shrine to use.
Oh, yeah. Taking this away from the mid laner is absolutely huge. And the joy of having so many pro players on my list, I've been messaged by 3 people already that Global does silence the Bear as well.
Okay.
So, Raykill, though, getting a decent amount of experience here in the early game. He used the cogs to kind of manipulate the creep wave a little bit, and he's going to get himself essentially a double wave while the SD and the Lesh are off wandering.
Wow, yeah. See, Raykill going to have to deal with that, or so take it, get that experience even. But it is going to be a trial lane, so it's turned Rome into a trial lane down here at the bottom lane. You do have Rubik also nearby, but I think it's safe to say NP has the advantage here with this try versus try, right? As far as the heroes down here.
Overall, I mean, Lunar Blessing is incredibly hard to fight into, though. You have 3 ranged heroes all getting insane bonus damage, so I wouldn't say it's guaranteed in NP's favor, but if NP gets the jump on a hero, it's a lot of damage coming out.
Middle matchup, Meepo versus Ember Spirit. That Flame Guard seems like it's pretty good against somebody like a Meepo. Now, in the early game, obviously, it's just him for now, but would you favor either way there?
It's slightly skill-based until Envy hits 6. It's one of those things that if you ever do get your Flame Guard poofed on, it's gone instantly. And kind of the big problem is just Meepo needs so many levels to deal with you. He wants a point or 2 in Geostrike to run you down. He needs points in poof to take the Flame Guard off. It's slightly Envy favored,
Yeah.
but
Oh, bottom
definitely
lane,
not.
Luna's in trouble. Split Earth, easy setup. There's the hoof stomp and the double edge. It's like he wasn't even there. The support's like, oh, we had a carry? Yeah, our bad.
yeah, they just weren't there to help at all. Zetok took Fade Bolt at level 1 so he wouldn't die at the Shrine, which basically means he doesn't do anything right now.
Not much you can do against that. Now, they are going to run at Leshrac over here and almost try to make a play in MSS. He is at half life. Leshrac off to the side. They're going to collapse onto him. Moonbeam. 4 more seconds on that cooldown. Going to be lifted up, going into his teammate. Dabalakita going to go down, though. And they'll run away from this, but at what cost for Luna? She might be in some trouble, although Shadow Demon's the one taking some good damage. MSS not more mana, not enough mana even to use another stomp. I guess he has a mango, but they do kill Shadow Demon, so a 2 for nothing there. I guess,
This is what Lunar Blessing can do. It right-clicks hard.
Get some revenge there. Now Centaur, okay, yeah, that was the magic stick right there. Get some charges back. But that was a good aggressive play coming out from DileCom and showing that they're not going to give up this lane by any means.
NP isn't really too worried about if they get kills and win the lane necessarily. If they can force that Luna just to struggle a little bit, a try naturally slows people down because it's harder to pull and get extra farm and experience in the lane. And if they can do that, then the Lone Druid and the Ember are very, very happy. It means they're not getting roamed on, they're not getting pressured, and they're definitely better with a couple items than the heroes on DileCom are.
Middle lane, this should be a kill. Yeah, Shadow Demon goes on the lesser life Meepo right there, the split earth, and I don't think he's escaping from this. The net comes out, but he will fall. In comes Rubik, trying to go for the turn kill on Ember Spirit at least. That'll be something, but it ain't going to happen. Red J auto attacks. Oh, maybe it will actually. Yes, it is enough damage. Take him out there.
Yeah, so Last Word at level 1 is one of the highest damage nukes in the game. It does 150 damage, and Envy didn't have Flame Guard up at the moment. It was barely on cooldown, and he didn't have time to hit it, so it does fall to that.
Well played at least to get the counter kill, but of course the kill first for NP. Top lane, they're chasing down the clockwork. They're being Lone Druid and the Bear. Unable to chase him down all the way, though.
Yeah, Aoi maybe could have committed on that. He would have lost the Bear for it for sure, though, so deciding 300 gold and a bunch of experience not worth the kill.
Yeah. But Lone Druid, I assume he's doing very well up here. Yeah, he's 23-9 now, Clockwork 13-3. So Aoi 2000, fantastic start. Not to really anyone's surprise. In fact, the top 3 farmers in the game, according to CS, creep score that is. It's all on the side of the Dire here for a Team NP. And they're going to pop a Shrine, meanwhile, at the bottom lane.
NA as well, or yeah, net worth as well. They're just winning everything right now. This is the position they want to be in. They're pressuring the Luna so she doesn't get a super early Dominator. And if you can force her into going something like Treads first and just kind of slowing that down, it really slows down what DileCom wants to do in this game.
Yeah. So now starts the jungle farm game of Meepo, but look at this. Shadow Demon and Leshrac coming in. Again, the disruption comes out. Now Meepo's in trouble again. The illusion spawned. There's a split of connects. And yes, the Ember Spirit nuke comes out to secure it. So this is you called it from the beginning. This is a tough game for Meepo, and that's just going to continue now. It feels like in favor of Team NP. And this fight's not over just yet. Fade Bolt on Ember, going to force him back. Shrine is ready to go again for DileCom. So yeah, you just want to run here. If you're Team NP, maybe try to distract for your Ember Spirit. Another port to the mid tower. He goes the other way. Is he actually going to get away? No way.
Oh, man. That slow from Silencer, though, will clean him up here.
Jeez, but that's what? All 5 heroes chasing him down. Okay. They also get Shadow Demon. Does Meepo, that is.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for them, but you got to realize Aoi is still just ricing. Aoi goes for the more micro-intensive build by going Helm early on. It makes it so that when he does pick up True Form at level 6, he can go ahead and Battlecry the Domed creep as well, and really just shove buildings in insane speed.
Yeah. Now they pick off Centaur, so they kind of keep that roam going, and it actually all generates one after the other, but as you're just referring to, though, is it really that big of a deal for NP? The fact that Aoi's just ricing away and farming this top lane, 1,000 gold saved up, the headdress on the way. Right here for
I think
him.
both teams are pretty happy with the way this is going.
Yeah.
DileCom's just got to be happy to be getting kills after the way last game went. Look at Envy, though.
Meepo, though. Can he survive through this? Yes, he can, because Rubik's here. The hasted up Ember Spirit, not enough chase. Look at that one low-life Meepo. Managing to barely keep his distance and actually escape. But we're not done just yet again. In comes Clockwork, and the cogs go up. Gonna box him out. Luna will be fine, and now actually Centaur's the one in trouble. Post stomp, he can't get it off. That battery assault causing too many issues. And now the beam to secure the kill onto Centaur. So now we're seeing DileCom actually pulling ahead a little bit overall. But God, look at the top lane. It's being pushed in.
This is what happens when you leave a Lone Druid uncontested. And with him getting solo experience, you push towards that level 10 and 15 talent so much faster. It's absolutely insane. If he gets to level 15 and the rest of the heroes in this game are still like, the supports are like say 8 and the cores are around 12 to 13, he's gonna just shred through them. He'll like be 3 or 4 shotting the Silencer and Rubik.
He's gonna start falling back now as obviously Silencer being up there, but
his Dom is done.
Yeah, he's good to go. He's gonna go into the jungle now, and
he got a Purge creep.
Did he?
It's
OP.
It really is.
So you're talking about right there. It's only a 60-second cooldown, so if he decides to get something else, then he'll be able to do it shortly here. Meepo, level 7. Despite a couple of deaths onto him, he's managing to do all right in the levels, as you really would expect, though. That's kind of one of the benefits of a Meepo. what it can do as far as scaling. MSS, okay, he's not going to be going straight Blink Dagger right here. Instead, he's getting a little bit of tank, it seems like, early on. Does that surprise you, or would you rather see the Blink ASAP?
I mean, I think going Hood is so mandatory on that hero. You don't really have a choice. You just have to grab it first, and you're really just looking to bully through towers. You're not really going to be going on them in the same way you were last game, where you're looking to one-shot somebody with an Ursa with a call. So they just want to build this really tanky team with options, and then they're just going to stand at a building and Edict. Because by the time you get all the outer towers, you're going to have your Blink. So
that's a level 2 Edict, and you see still how quickly it goes down right there. Lone Druid assisting, of course, and down goes the tower. Middle lane, Ember hanging out the Silencer as if maybe wants to make a play. He's running at him pretty aggressively right here, and gonna Remnant in, misses the nuke damage though. Silencer just continuing to walk it off. He doesn't have the support coming in, gonna juke around the trees, and good one at that. All right, he'll be fine.
This is something I've noticed from Envy in both games. He doesn't buy the Veil until he has the entire Veil. He could have been flying out a piece of it already and gotten a little bit of benefit, but
yeah, that can be a little frustrating sometimes, considering, you know, even those minor stats can be oh so useful in the earlier game.
Yeah, especially the mana pool. That's probably the biggest thing I noticed. Ember struggles so much to find mana in the early game. He barely has enough to cast all 3 of his abilities.
Spirit Bear going to be lifted up right there. Might be able to kill the Spirit Bear at least. He has another spawn of it, of course.
Zetox stealing it. What a greedy jerk.
That's a lot of bounty, isn't it? Like 300 gold, I think?
300 gold, yeah.
That's pretty good. Oh, the hookshot whipping right there. Almost got Ember Spirit, but unable to connect.
And this is what this tri-lane's done, though, to DileCom. You're at 10 minutes. The Luna's still 500 gold off from the helm with Dom. You haven't gotten to use Eclipse once. You're really, really far behind as far as just the pace of this game, even though you are up on kill score.
Should we expect to see the double Dragonlance build here on Meepo, you think?
I would say so. I don't think you can go Ags very early in a game like this. You're just getting pressured too often, and you need those quick stats from Lance.
Working towards one at least. Keep an eye to see how he continues with that. Centaur running at the bottom lane, looking to pick up more farm. Get that Hood picked up and finish. He might be in a little bit of trouble, though, as they're making their way down here. Silencer trying to run him down. You also have Rubik nearby. Centaur's still hanging around, actually. Out comes the Curse. He's slow. Pops the Stampede, though, says he's out of here.
Yeah, he just waited till the very last possible second before that Curse was going to blow up and silence him, and then hits the button and just hightails it out. It's going to result in NP trying to take T1 middle, and they will get that for free.
So the distractions are successful for NP. They're down 7-3 at hero kills, but I was going to say, something tells me the graph is going to be well in their favor, and it sure enough is. Just over 2,000 net worth lead now. And the experience, really not much at all, but net worth is kind of the big one right here. Now, DileCom going to group up and push middle themselves.
It's a little hard for NP to defend pushes at this point. Until the Centaur has Blink and gives you that clean initiation, you don't really want to be defending, you want to be aggressing. So they may look for a trade, even if it's just to get chip damage on this T2 bottom, but it is super low. They may get a T2 for a T1 trade here.
Tier 1, bottom lane. No, it's going to be protected currently by Meepo. Although Lone Druid chasing after him. Didn't take the silence, though, as the global silence comes out, because in the middle lane, trying to make a play on Ember Spirit. The Remnant, however, goes off. He's going to be silenced, but he's put under, so he'll survive. Centaur stopping the clockwork into the ground, going to prevent him from chasing after, and Ember Spirit will actually remain alive right here. Now Leshrak's going for the turn kill, but he misses the splitter. Silencer walks it off.
Envy's just pinging, like, get to the shrine, I want to keep fighting.
How he got the tower kill bottom lane while that was going on, too.
Yeah, he did. I'm curious to see what he goes. The standard here for the Lonely Druid build would be going like Phase into Dragonlance into Maelstrom. We'll see if he just, with 1,800 gold, he may decide to skip the Phase boots and just go straight for a Lance. We'll have to see here shortly. But they do smoke up. They are not ready to be done fighting yet.
No, but then why would you when you have a shrine? That shrine's here. They're full. They're full life, full mana, good to go. And guess what? Van's pushing out the top lane. He's going to regret this pretty quickly right here. Yep, there we go. There's a jump. He got distracted by the help of the Dominator creep. And then he ends up dying as a result. So that was well played, actually, by Lone Druid or whoever was controlling that.
Yeah, I believe it was LD. So, yeah, that little slowing ghost would have actually been a problem if you left it up anyway. It was going to let NP get in. So, he was kind of one of those situations where he was too far. You just don't go across the river like that when you don't know where everyone is.
Yeah.
But getting punished for it really hard. Ooh, LD spin is gold. Yep, Dragonlance.
You got the Dragonlance on Lone Druid. All right, going to be coming out. And
So yeah, if you're NP, you just want to keep aggression. You want to be the ones deciding where fights happen and when they happen. So you want to be pushing into objectives just to get to your Centaur Blink. Those 2 towers will be about enough gold for him to clean that up. And at that point, you just take a quick Roche and look to go high ground.
in the lane they're wrapping around Leshrac, as well as Shadow Demon. You got the
He's trying to block the hook with the illusions.
Good heads up there. And they're pinging like crazy. Eternal Envy this time's right into them. He did not realize, obviously, they were smoked up, so that was a very ballsy jump, though.
He gives me a heart attack every game he plays.
Last game he had some questionable decisions as well, but obviously in the long run it worked out well in their favor. Top lane, let's just keep the push going, says Lundra. You team do your thing, and I'll just push the top tower in.
Here's the primary benefit to going Helm of Dom on Lone Druid. When you get a creep and then you switch over to the true form and hit the battle cry, you're adding like 65 damage to that creep for 6 seconds, and your bear and your hero. So it just results in this disgustingly fast tower push, and it's so hard to answer if you don't have a bunch of control, and we don't really see any stuns coming out from DileCom.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, they really don't have the most reliable. They got the lift from Rubik, kind of, Clockwork, but bottom lane they're going to try to use right here, but the hook shot misses because of the disruption right there. Stampede activated, and the poofs are going to whiff as a result. Rosie's going for the TP. He'll be successful. Make his getaway. Big fight continues over here, though. Silencer caught in the foreground. He will get picked off. He pops a global silence, but the auto attack flies through the air and chases him down. That's a 1-for-0 after it's all said and done. Possibly more to come. Lone Druid's still in pursuit. Gonna get that entangle perhaps. Nope, the Cog's gonna block him off. Although Ember Spray's like, I got this, don't worry. Out comes the root, and that will be a kill on Clockwork. 2-for-0, and let's push bottom perhaps. And maybe gonna work towards mid for a secondary, but.
Yeah, bottom T2 is already gone. You can't quite look at high ground. 15 minutes is a little bit too early. So they are gonna find Van though, sitting in the jungle.
Oh no, Van, he has his own helmet, the Dominator now, trying to go for a Dragonlance next. He'll be fine. But his farm is still a long ways to go. You see, it's 5th overall right now in the game. He's behind the Centaur, actually.
Yeah, this is 100% not where you want a Luna Meepo draft to be.
No.
You haven't gotten to set the tempo at all. You've never been the ones really pushing. Anything you did push, NP just kind of gave you, but then took something of their own. They got the T2 bottom and took the fight after the T1 middle. They've been playing reactionary Dota very, very well. And at this point, I don't really know how you contest LD once he gets 15 and gets that talent. You need to find some good isolated hook shots into eclipses. You haven't used eclipse this game, I don't think. And you're talking 16 minutes into the game.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard it or seen it go off, so. Yeah, he's almost level 11 right here. But has that level 1 eclipse currently. Bottom lane. Centaur just making its way to push it out. He's trying to finish that Blink Dagger, which actually just got enough gold for. So now they'll have the strong initiator on the side of NP. Those big hoof stomps off. Meepo, he's got the double Dragonlance and a Blink Dagger coming up next for him, though.
And that's kind of their one shot, right? If you hit a hook shot on somebody key, it's pretty much got to be SVG or someone that you can force the disruption on way out of position. Because if he's disrupting someone in the middle of a team fight when Clockwork goes on them, DileCom should just like fall over. NP's got so much burst damage right now between the hoof stomp double edge, the Leshrac, and that full Ember Bomb done with the Veil, that you just can't really tank through that. It's going to be, what, 1,800 AoE damage in a pretty big AoE?
Yeah. Look at Centaur. He also moves away right as they start making their way to try to kill him right there at the bottom lane. It's like he had the hindsight or the insight even, and sure enough, this ward right here definitely giving him that information to spot the incoming gank attempt. So bottom tier 1 tower going to be pushed in now by DileCom. Is going to attempt to perhaps do it.
NP will probably do something similar to what they did in the mid T1. They'll slow it down a little bit, probably give it up, and just let Aoi push top. Again, he's got another one of those creeps pushing, and yeah, DileCom has to fall back.
Top lane, Silencer, the hook shot not going to connect. Lone Druid is able to fall back in time. They're all pointing to the shrine area, and Aoi 2000 picked up on that as he starts running away. the Stampede buff to help make sure that it
Yeah,
gets out
both
of
teams
there.
had Stampede there. Zetok had it stolen for the last few seconds.
Oh,
so he got that off at the same time, but the hook shot was just a little bit too slow, a little bit off the mark, and without that, they really couldn't collapse on it.
Spending a lot of time, again, the distractions here by Lone Druid specifically, and he's almost level 15 now. That's what you talked about, that talent that really amps him. Plus 65 damage.
Yeah, and he actually just went a full Hurricane Pike.
Oh, that was another kill onto Luna. Over here in the jungle, they roam and find him. So, but yeah, you mentioned Hurricane Pike now finished on Lone Druid.
So yeah, he's going to be putting out just absurd amounts of damage. If he does get hook-shotted now, he's got his own way out without having to rely on Savage to disrupt him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
He's just not done with this T2.
Yeah, that range, it really is absurd as Meepo gets picked off. What? I'm watching him push the top lane. I'm distracted by this Lone Druid. It's as if he's the only one in the game, but Meepo goes down to the bottom lane as well, and now actually back to Lone Druid with the Shadow Demon. Trying to get the clockwork right here, but he'll be able to throw up those cogs and ultimately survive. But yeah, a couple of cores going off right there. And Luna ports in. She popped the Eclipse, but it's not enough for her to kill herself. And Shadow Team is going to make the escape. No, he takes the beam and is going to be stunned as a result and killed in the end. So finally a little bit of something there for DileCom. And it's only Shadow Demon, though.
Little unfortunate that's all they got out of the Eclipse, but hey, you finally used Eclipse and got a kill. So it's something, at least. They've been needing something for a while.
They have been. And Centaur, I mean, the control of the jungle has just been in favor of NP as well as even the Radiant jungle down here. Yeah, just you see the circle coming out, I guess, talking about how they're just controlling. You got the wards as one is going to be somewhat countered there. Yep, there we go. By Rubik, at least. Trying to take back what's theirs. That's just the beginning of the... Now what's a climb, really, to come back into this game? You do have the Axe in the works now for Meepo. He finished the Blink Dagger. He's level 15.
He's too scared to go anywhere right now, though. In a normal Meepo game at 20 minutes, you want to be in their jungle taking camps. You want to be just super greedy, grabbing a bunch of bounty runes, and staying way ahead on net worth. And we actually see him 2,000 behind the Lone Druid and break even with Envy. So he just seems very, very squishy. Even with that double Dragonlance and Blink, he's just at risk of being popped by like any two heroes on NP right now.
Roshan, looks like that's what's going to be happening here next. You see the illusions created of the Bears. And into the Roshan pit we go.
The Bears.
Classic. I wonder how many people get that reference in chat.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to feel old as soon as I said that. But
Old and American.
Yep. But yeah, it should be a pretty easy Roshan. DileCom looking to get something out of this at least. They are going to push the T1 bottom, and they may continue on to try for the T2. Envy, though, being the brave frontliner right now.
Yeah, he's been doing this often. Veil comes out. It's going to be lifted, though, so it's going to come in a one-cost situation. He's thrown in, put under. Yule Scepter somehow still alive. And a sleight of fist, and there's the Revenant to get the hell on out now. Shadow Demon was picked off, but they do kill Rubik. And now, nice force stab away for Leshrac, trying to get away from Oli's Meeples. The nets keep coming, though, but a big hoof stop in the midst of all of them. Coming out from the Centaur, trying to pick off science there. Throughout the poof's going to be used by Meepo, but the one was low enough to get picked off, though, as Eternal Envy comes back in to secure the job. Clockwork now. He's trying to run. Ain't going to happen. He will go down. Eclipse was popped by Luna. Getting some kills. A triple kill, though, for Aoi 2000 in the midst of this. And he's in the background, is pounding and right clicks. He picks up the ultra kill, and he's going for more, actually. May get the rampage. Indeed, he gets the rampage for Aoi, and we're not even done just yet, as now Van is being chased back further. Take a look at that fight recap. Yeah, the buyback on Rubik throughout it. Oh, they're going to get him now. The net, Searing Chains. Oh, man, it's so cool. Look at those auto attacks. The range is absurd. There we go. And Luna's going to fall. What a fight to the end for NP. How about that getaway from Eternal Envy, though?
Yeah, that was insane. That's twice I've seen Envy just put himself in positions he looked dead, like insanely dead. But again, a lack of hard stuns, and so he just goes that Yules. As soon as he notices the team doesn't have more than like one good consistent stun for him, all he has to do is Yules himself. As long as he has a remnant out, he's guaranteed to live. How he's just beating down this tower.
Yeah, this really is something. Just that range, and now the 65 damage talent. You see how hard he's hitting, how quickly, of course. The Hurricane Pike for the added range. A Maelstrom now coming as well to even increase that attack speed that much more and more pushing presence. So the Meepo and the Luna. Meepo still doesn't have an axe. In fact, it's still well off. I mean, he needs 3 components. He's only got the Ogre Club currently. As far as that goes. And you look at Luna, that's nothing threatening. I mean, BKB is going to be working on for her, but just
even once you have that, though, you still have the root from the bear. You can still disrupt someone who's getting eclipsed. It's still going to be insanely hard for her to get anything done. In reality, this Meepo pick just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if they decided before the game to do this or what.
Meepo's going to be in trouble here. Yeah, he's going to get caught, stunned, can't poof away or anything, and he will be killed again. So I'm with you, though. That's not even hindsight. I mean, you called it from the beginning right as the pick happened, and it just felt awkward. It felt forced, really. It was like, oh, hey, Meepo does really well in this patch. The last pick, let's pick Meepo. It's like, wait a second, you got to maybe look at the other team first and figure out what's going on with your game plan. So they're going to kill Shrines now.
I just think a lot of this comes down to the fact that NP did do their research and at the very least looked up the stats for DileCom and realized the offlaner only had a 2-hero pool, essentially, that he was super comfortable playing. And when you pull those two out, he's been extremely underperforming the whole series. The Clockwork's been involved in only 6 kills. It hasn't really been a threat anywhere on the map. And last game was kind of more of the same. It just didn't do anything. It didn't have the pop you need your offlaner to have.
Nearly 15,000 at least. We're climbing up there for both the net worth and experience now in favor of NP. And it's just been a pretty steady climb, it's safe to say. Obviously, the last fight really just putting them amping it up that much more. And now the second shrine going to be destroyed, and this will be all outer towers now down in favor of Team NP right here. The Lone Druid, he's got the Aegis. He's not so alone right now. He's got plenty of teammates around him. And DileCom, they're going to try for almost a desperate gank here with the smoke up. They do have the 10-second BKB right now on Luna. She's going to be in the front lines, but quickly falls back as she kind of peeks in right there on the cliff. I don't know if they're going to catch anyone. Okay, well, there's top lane. Yeah, Leshrek's up here, but Lone Druid is coming, and there's a double force tap. And all of a sudden, he's out of there. And they're good.
The net just barely missed that way, but yeah, it's so hard for them to go on anyone. Force Staff is such an insanely good item right now.
Oh, Meepo just got picked off there by Eternal. Wait, what? Oh, that must have been elsewhere. Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
how
that was
did
down
he
bottom.
die? That was on the bottom lane. And meanwhile, back up here, obviously, Silencer ends up getting picked off. And now the chase continues in favor of Team NP. Ray kill. Clockwork, he's going to take a perch from Shadow Team. He's not even level 10 yet. He's got the Blade Mail, but that ain't going to work. Oh, stays alive for the time being. He eclipses in the background from Luna, pops the BKB, chasing them back, but they just kite away. And now they're trying to go for the turn themselves, but Vanport's out with that BKB. And he'll be good at least.
Yeah, they're just way too fast. All this mobility, all these items that NP's gotten up, they've almost all been defensive in nature. You've got so many force stabs, the drums are back up again on Rose, and with the Centaur, it's just so hard for DileCom to actually stay on anybody. You just don't have the control.
And really, you got to feel like the time is wearing down here now for DileCom. We see the push at the top lane for Team NP. Aegis is reclaimed, so one of that is they're trying to see.
Tactically tanking the tower for the return damage.
Yeah. Smart. Well, the net's coming out from Meepo, trying to kill the Spirit Bear at least. But again, with this build of Lone Druid, it's not relying on the bear anymore necessarily. So.
Yeah, the bear is still a fairly significant amount of your tower damage, even with no items, because he does have Demolish, which adds 40% bonus building damage. So the bear is still a good chunk of tower damage, but yeah, definitely not needed for them. It was just a safe way for them to chip at the building. They don't have the Aegis anymore. It expired right as they started to go uphill. Yeah. So they'll just fall back, grind the game out a little more, take the next Roche, and then probably look to close it out.
Luna trying to amp that damage now, getting really the routine build to get the Yasha finish into the Manta style. But we're approaching now 27 minutes into this game. Still doesn't have it, of course. Meepo kind of the same boat. Again, no Ags pick up on him just yet. He's also only level 17. And I feel like one of the big advantages of the Meepo, too, is that he just levels up insanely fast. You know, he could be 25 by 25 minutes into the game even if he's getting that free farm. Now, obviously, it's been a difficult task this game, but yeah, he's well behind the pace that you'd like to see him at.
Yeah, absolutely. He just hasn't been able to get any traction. And like, I don't want to blame South American Dota as a whole, but their play styles are very similar. They all like to play that early game aggressive, run at you style, and it does very well in these T2 tournaments. We've seen Infamous taking a couple wins. They did very well at WESG. But when you put them against the top competition, teams like EG, NP, DC, they've struggled to really make that playstyle work, as these teams just tend to be so much better at the macro game, being in the right place, the right time, managing the aggression, and most notably giving up things when you need to give them up. NP doesn't hold a T1 if they know it's going to be a bad fight. They'll go take a trade, or they'll take the fight after it falls. And that's the kind of decision making you see out of these top tier teams that makes this playstyle really hard for DileCom.
And you see DileCom really just forced to kind of sit in their base, maybe send a couple meeples out, Luna push out the top lane a little bit, but the supports are pretty much not doing much else other than just waiting for the inevitable of NP going to be pushing. You mentioned Roshan, yeah, we still got to wait a little bit longer before that's going to be back up again, but for now, NP just going to keep the lanes pushed as much as they can, of all 3 lanes that is. You see Lone Druid, the progress onto him, has that full Mjolnir finish now.
He's huge. He is huge.
Hitting hard and fast. 50-second respawn time. I feel like his abilities are just amped over anyone else's talent tree. Like,
oh, his talent tree is filthy.
It's ridiculous.
It's arguably the most broken talent tree in Dota, and I don't even think that's arguable. I think it just is the best talent tree in Dota.
And how did this? That's kind of the crazy. But I mean, again, that's what when a big patch like this happens. You know, there's so much going on, and people are caught up, you know, with all these other things. But and I'm sure there's still going to be more out there that we have yet to discover. But as time has gone on, there's been things like, you know, Queen of Pain with the Blade Mail and her level 25, an Octarine Core, and then you got the whole Ember Spirit, the new build, and the Meepo. But this Lone Druid feels like, yeah, he's topping the charts right now as, okay, this is the most ridiculous thing.
Ember's probably a close second. He's the only hero to get such huge spell amplification this early, and the only hero that has this kind of burst available to him that early. The spell amp just really put him over the top, and then to get CDR is just an insanely good thing. The best talent trees are either overstated, like Lone Druid's level 15, 65 damage, where it's just well and above any other carry's damage talents, or they're things you can't get easily from items. Cooldown reduction and spell amp are very, very hard to get efficiently. Generally, if you want those, you only want those, you don't really want the rest of it. And so when heroes get access to these kind of talents, it can just totally break the game. I know one notable one that Freedom uses a lot is Undying. At level 10, he gets 30-second respawn reduction, and you'll see them have a level 10 Undying at 30-40 minutes. And he's just respawning in like 6 or 8 seconds.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, yeah. There's some fun ones out there for sure, but yeah, Lone Druid seems like he's kind of topping the charts right now. You see Rose just pushing up the top lane by himself. Very similar build to last game, throw the 4 staff in there, and they can't gank him though. He's going to be a little too slippery.
Yeah, it's hard for them to find the damage in time, because if Clock opens with the hook, then you have Rubik's Lift, and then you're done. You're out of stuns. So if he can force staff after that, then he hits drums and he's out. So very, very difficult here for DileCom to find any pick. I think the Shadow Demon's probably their closest thing they're going to be able to get, but even that's going to be a tall task.
Oh my god. Okay, so Luna literally almost just died from full life to nothing by 2 Lone Druid Illusions and a Shadow Demon. He was barely making it back to base. He got to maybe like 5% of his life, and then they popped the shrine in the base.
It's just going to get worse once the Scotty comes out.
Oh boy, that's over here now. Rubik getting picked up. Missing some kills. I apologize, guys. I'll be on top of it now. But it just happened so quickly, it feels like. Especially in that case where Rubik is picked off there. But yeah, it just really shows you again. It's more information, more reason as to why this lane is just so significant for NP in case you needed it that much more. So Soul Catcher too, amping that damage. Is Roshan back up? Yes, he is.
It is. I don't think NP ever has to do anything except throw Shadow Demon Illusions at the building if they don't want to. But they're so far ahead they could probably just run up the hill and not really face any issues.
Yeah, I don't think they have too much to worry about as far as the throw chance here. I mean, nearly 25,000 net worth, 30,000 experience lead. So we'll see what the decision is. Play it safe or just go balls to the wall here. But they are going to get the Roshan kill, and there's Zowie 2000 picking up the token for the Aegis here. And we'll head towards the middle lane right now with the rest of the team, it looks like. Any significant items more? Yeah, Scotty now finished on Lone Druid, by the way.
Mjolnir done on Ember Spirit. Now he's going the throwback build. He's building a Battle Fury.
Yeah, mixing that in there now. The guy at about time to go old school now. Hey, there's the axe on Meepo. Manages to get it eventually. Hook shot in. Here we go. Cogs go up, but there's those 4 staffs coming into play. Ember Spirit, he's going to be fine. Sleight of Fist activated. He's going back in, actually. Gotta be a little careful, though, here. He will use a Remnant to eventually get out, but DileCom keeping their distance. Meanwhile, top lane is being pushed in by Leshrac by himself. That's just, again, classic case of a support hero that can split push so well. So they're distracted by that. Here, back to the bottom lane. The tower goes down. And Clockwork just going to throw up the Cox and hope to delay. But a hoof stop onto the double edge to take out Silencer right there. And then MSS walks it off as if nothing even happened. Blade Mail popped by Clockwork on the back. On the poofs in from Meepo. But the Rax is going to fall, and then there's a top Rax. I mean, this is pretty much the beginning of the end now.
There's no way in for DileCom. They had the best initiation. They were going to find a two-man hookshot into the two-man cogs, and they couldn't even come close to killing anybody. So, unfortunately, this is where it ends.
Good game, well played. It's official. NP will go 2-0 here in the group stage match against DileCom. So that's got to feel good. You know, NP is obviously one of the favorites here in this event. Again, there's only one spot on the line. You got them, you got DC, and arguably a couple more, but they are up there. So they split against DC yesterday, and now they follow it up with a 2-0 impressive victory over DileCom. So I think this patch, you know, making their debut in the patch over these last couple of days, they're looking pretty good, kind of like the NP before.
Yeah, I know they've been scrimming a lot, definitely showing it off here. When you get access to this many premium picks, though, it's a little rough to try to lose a game. You have to throw pretty hard.
All right, but that means we're going to wrap things up for this series. We do got our next one, though, so timing is going to line up pretty well. The default time was about 15 minutes from now, I think, when our next series was set to kick off. And that, of course, being Complexity versus Team Onyx. Both of these teams, actually, Onyx played yesterday, as we mentioned, but Complexity will be making their debut now in the 7.0 patch and their first tournament here and everything. So we got that to look forward to, and obviously Onyx split their series yesterday, as mentioned, 1-1 against Team Freedom. So we'll see how this new hyped team continues into today. But Z-Rock, I believe that's going to do it for you on the broadcast here. I want to thank you for coming on here and joining me.
Yep, I got kicked out for my league references. That's how it goes.
Yeah, you know, we had a talk in between the games. I'm just like, you know, we just can't have it.
We just can't work together anymore.
You can't be mentioned in that game now.
All right.
Happy to have you on. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to say before I let you go here?
You know, I don't, actually. Shout out to Sama. Right. Yeah, we were on a team together in Han, so still got a little spot in my heart for him.
All right, there you go. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to this match, but obviously we do got plenty more to come here. Again, I'm Breaky CPK. I was joined by Z-Rock here. Z-Rock's going to be leaving. We got somebody else coming on. Don't worry about that. We got our next series, though, Complexity versus Team Onyx. Coming up next, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.